Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Let's just get right into the message. So I want to talk about something that a lot of people struggle with after they've been healing. And that is, just because you forgive someone does not mean that you get to give them access again. A lot of us were never even taught that. We were taught that if you forgive, you reconnect. If you forgive, you can go back. If you forgive, you can pretend like everything is okay again. And that is how a lot of people end up back in the same situations that hurt them in the first place. Because they healed, but they did not change their boundaries. So let me say this clearly. Forgiveness is not just releasing the past. Boundaries are protecting your future. And those are two different things. You can forgive someone in your heart and still decide that they no longer have the same place in your life. And that doesn't make you cold, it doesn't make you bitter, and that doesn't make you unforgiving. It makes you aware. Because once you see something clearly, you cannot unsee it. Once someone shows you how they really move, how they handle your trust, how they respond to your vulnerability, you have information now. And healing is not just about feeling better. It's about moving differently with what you know. Now let's talk about boundaries. Because a lot of people hear the word and immediately think something negative. They think boundaries mean you're shutting people out. You're being difficult. You're punishing somebody. You're acting like you're better than anyone else. But that's not what a boundary is. Boundary is a simple decision. A decision about what you will allow and what you will not allow. And it's not about controlling other people. It's about governing yourself. It's saying this is what I'm available for, and this is what I'm no longer available for. And the truth is, boundaries become necessary the moment you realize that not everyone handles your heart in the same way. Now here's why boundaries feel so hard for a lot of people. It's not because they don't know what they need. It's because they feel guilty for choosing it. They start thinking, what if I hurt their feelings? What if they think I've changed? What if I lose them? But here's something you need to understand. Some people only feel rejected when they no longer have access to the version of you that has no limits. The version of you that said yes to everything, the version of you that over-explained, the version of you that tolerated things you shouldn't have, and the version of you that stayed quiet to keep the peace. So when you start setting boundaries, it doesn't just change your behavior. It changes your relationships. And that doesn't mean that you're wrong. It means that you're growing. Now let's connect this back to forgiveness, okay? Because this is where people get confused. They think, if I forgive them, I should give them another chance. But here's the truth. Forgiveness does not automatically build trust. Trust is built through consistent behavior over time. No words, no promises, no apologies alone. Behavior. So if someone has broken your trust, you are allowed to forgive them without immediately restoring access. You are allowed to take space. You are allowed to move slower. And you are allowed to observe instead of assume. And sometimes you're allowed to walk away completely. Because not every relationship is meant to continue after the lesson is learned. And that's not failure. That's alignment. Now, what do healthy boundaries actually look like? They don't always have to be dramatic. Sometimes it's simple. Sometimes it's just saying no without explaining your entire life story. It's not answering every call or message immediately. It's not sharing everything with everyone about yourself. It's paying attention to how you feel around certain people and honoring that. It's removing yourself from situations that just don't feel right. It's choosing peace over proving a point. And most importantly, it's understanding that access to you is a privilege, not a right. Not everyone deserves the same level of closeness. Not everyone deserves the same level of trust. And not everyone deserves that same level of energy. And that's okay. Because the goal of healing was never to go back to who you used to be. The goal is to become someone who no longer tolerates what hurt them. So if you've done the work, if you've forgiven, if you've grown, don't undo that progress by ignoring your boundaries. Don't shrink yourself to keep people comfortable. Don't reopen doors that cost you your peace just because you healed enough to stop being angry. Because healing didn't happen so that you could go back. Healing happened so that you could choose differently. So that you could recognize what's healthy, what you could walk away from, and what's not. So that you could protect your energy, your peace, and your heart, and still remain a good person. And I want to leave you with this. You can forgive someone and still say no. You can wish them well and still walk away. You can still have love in your heart and still have distance in your life. And those things can exist at the same time. Because real growth is not just about what you release. It's about what you no longer will allow back in. So choose peace, choose clarity, choose yourself, and understand not everyone has access to you from the past. Because access to you, let me repeat that, I'm sorry. Not everyone who accesses you in the past is meant to have access to you in the future. I hope this helped somebody today. I know for me it is, it's definitely a lesson that I've been learning, because boundaries are important, you know, and there's a reason why we go through things in our lives, you know. So forgive, love, compassion for each other, and sometimes you just have to walk away. I mean, there's a quote that I learned recently that says, sometimes the greatest act of love is separation. If you think that is correct, or if you have any comments about that, leave a comment below, and don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you all in the next message. Have a great day, morning, afternoon, wherever you are. All right? Thank you, guys.